All right, we are live for the 115th episode of the
Let's Go podcast. And nowadays, it's not even another day, another episode. It's another 12 hours, another episode as we continue our march through all this content. And we got, for by the way, making his second appearance, HSL Hall of Famer Yehuda Konig. He was on the Hall of Fame podcast as well, if you remember correctly. He popped on for a few minutes of it. I actually forgot about
Of
it.
course I remember.
Or I actually forgot about it. I was going to say making his debut, but he's not. And Yehuda Konig is an absolute legend in the softball space, way before my time and before David's time. Also, the pitcher for Extreme Vent Cleaning, looking to start their beginning of, hopefully for them, their long journey into the Twillery tournament, playoffs, and championships. And we are thrilled to have the Cy Young on the pod. Dove, take it away.
I'm trying to. What's that?
That's quite the introduction. Wow.
Yeah,
And it
I'm
was all on the
trying.
fly. There was no practice.
I'm trying. So first of all, this is actually episode 116. Also, I'm trying to get us set up live on YouTube for the trolling content, but having some trouble.
So Avi,
let's.
well, a few things there, Avi. First of all, way before your time. I mean, come on, it's a little extreme there. Very dramatic. Also, I take a little bit issue with, I almost feel a little bit like, I was on that podcast. It was, I think, last summer, maybe, when you guys were doing it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, is that when it was last time? Okay.
It was right after last spring, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Was after this
Yeah, so
spring.
that's the summer. No, it wasn't this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so you say that, and I feel a little bit like, very much Lahavdil, like Clemens coming back, where they already had me dead and buried, and, Susan Wallman screaming in the booth at the greatest thing she's ever seen.
The greatest
I was
thing
actually
she's
going to
ever-
say, the vibes going around the HSL community. I mean, actually, a couple people have your back on this. Has been Yehuda Konig's been basically dead and buried for a couple of years now, and now out of nowhere he's making some miraculous return to his Cy Young form. I was actually meaning I was going to let David take control of the podcast, but that's something
I'm ready to get involved. I couldn't figure out the YouTube thing for now. It's okay.
That's something I
Go
wanted to
ahead.
get into. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, obviously you've been hurt a lot recently. I know you married off your son. I don't know if you married, definitely your son, right? A lot. Like I said, the word on the street now is that the reason why you went for so little comparatively to other pitchers is that you were really a has-been that's all of a sudden made a miraculous return. Is what I'm hearing a lot. I'm not saying this for myself. This is genuine HSL community people talking.
But then they would be overpaying for a has-been, no? Like, what are you spending them? I mean, I'm being serious. What are you?
No, I guess a Cy Young Hall of Fame has-been who they know if your stuff is on, you're probably the most dominant pitcher around. I guess it's worth spending a few shekels on, but that was from talking to players before the draft. That was sort of the take coming in. The difference between you and a pitcher like Pollen and Kaufman and Ash is that Pollen, Kaufman, and Ash are still in the prime of their careers. Yehuda Konig has games here and there where he's dominant, but he's just not the same Yehuda Konig. And I think over the last 5 or 6 games, you sort of proved them wrong with your consistency throughout the tournament. I just wanted to get your take on how you've been feeling in the last couple of years. If you think it's coming from, if it's valid at all, I don't know. Just curious.
Listen, it's the man upstairs that lets us be healthy, so we're grateful for that. And I do say this, that the last few years, I did make a concerted effort to pitch less. That is certainly on me. I do enjoy playing the outfield, and Avi, I've played against you, and then David as well. But Avi, we played against you. I was on that team. Not to remind you of difficult things, but I was there when Shuey hit the bomb. I was playing in the outfield, and I think I might have even been on base. But a lot of it is just, it was like trying to conserve a little bit and recognizing. I've seen people where they are just can't play at all, and I really didn't want that to happen. I also play a lot of other sports, so I found the pitching did take a lot out of me. I've felt pretty good the last couple of years, and I now made it a concerted effort. So, I've been on teams where I have Yossi Kaufman in the night league, Steve Pollen in the HSL league, and so there's fewer opportunities to pitch. And if you're not, from pitching, if you're not pitching regularly, and for me throwing in between and doing whatever crazy pitchers do, it makes it very challenging to be consistent.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. I'm plugged in now. We didn't get on. We wanted to get on YouTube clearly, simply for the trolling aspect and the hate that would come Yehuda's way, but unfortunately, I couldn't get it right now. I'm a little over busy. So let's start at the beginning. Where are you from, Mr. Konig?
I grew up in Bell Harbor, on the tip of Queens, but not really Queens. But I've been there my entire life until
It's technically Nassau County, right?
It's technically Rockaway, which is part of.
Oh, it is. Oh, so it is part of New
Yeah.
York City. Okay. So
Yep.
what's
Yep.
your accent? What's your accent?
I don't really have Jewish.
Jewish. That's what it is. Okay. Okay, it's definitely there.
So Mom Donnie, you be reigning over that part of the county if he wins today?
I certainly hope not, but
I actually voted, by the way, today. I hope not. I don't want to. It's the first time I ever voted, I think.
really,
Yeah, I didn't vote. My mother wants to kill me. I didn't vote for any of the Trump elections or any of the other previous elections.
you've never voted before? Seriously?
Atzlus. Does that mean laziness? Yeah.
Wow.
This time around, I was pressured too much, so I actually finally I was registered to vote. I'm a registered Democrat officially in Florida because this Democrat Hagler came around to these houses when I was dorming in yeshiva in Boca and convinced me to register as Democrat. And I was like,
How about you, David? Did you you got out
I
there?
didn't vote yet today, but we're going at 5. I'm actually a big political a politico is what my father-in-law calls me. He says you're a politico. Like I'm really into politics, but I've been counseled not to do too much politics on the podcast.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go when I get home with my wife. She's very passionate about this election, so I'm not so passionate about it. I know a lot of people are, but anyway. So you grew up in Bell Harbor. Where did you go to elementary school?
I went to Darchei Torah.
Psh.
Yeah, that always elicits a psh, something similar. Then I went to Rambam for high school, and I went to Mevaseret in Israel.
Interesting. So you probably don't have nowadays. Do you have Darchei elementary school kids ending up in Mevaseret?
I don't think so. I think I was one of one.
You're one of one. Oh, you mean in like the whole history of Darchei?
But I'm sure if you go back and look, there one hand and less. I'd be shocked.
Was Rabbi Bender reigning over Darchei back then also?
I have to tell you, I am a very big Rabbi Bender fan.
Okay, sorry.
No,
I meant reigning in a good way. Good reigning.
No. And I was there when my grade was the first grade with parallel classes. We were the first one. The grade before us had I don't know, 20 kids maybe, and we were the first one with 45 to 50, and we were in one hallway of what the Hartman Y was. That was it. That was the whole school. And when I see what it is today, I'm very happy for Bender. I think that he's done amazing things. He started the resource room program, and he gets just a lot of credit to him for so many good things he's done for people. I think Hashem's, really helped him find the right people and really just build up such a tremendous, almost like an empire.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said reigning. It is an empire. So Avi mentioned a minute ago that you have a son. Did you send him to Darchei?
I did not.
So you don't love Rabbi Bender that much. You don't love Rabbi Bender that much.
I will tell you this. I go to him every year on Purim. My son and daughter, every now and then, they come with me. He read the Ksuba at my son's wedding. It was special having him there. He's nice. really just a special person.
Okay, so growing up in Bell Harbor, you played softball, you played baseball, you played ice hockey. What were your sports?
My favorite sport, and I wish I could still really play it today at a high level, is roller hockey. Absolutely love it. There's just such a thrill. And ice to a lesser extent. I just didn't play as much.
What do you think of floor hockey?
I played it in Yeshiva League when I was in Rambam. I think you'd ask them. I was pretty good, but it's running around.
So it's funny. So I grew up pretty yeshivish, so we didn't have any sports leagues. My wife is from a modern Orthodox background, so I've gotten to know the modern Orthodox world more over the years. So she was telling me earlier on, she was like, it's so funny how the yeshiva league, the floor hockey guys are the jocks, and she's like, but it's floor hockey, so it's it's such a Jewish thing that the jocks are playing floor hockey, but it's also such a I don't know, it's not such a jockey thing.
Where did you go to school? And you said
I went to Tifmo for elementary, and then I was in Chavetz Chaim for a long.
A true Chavetz Chaim boy.
Yeah, I was in Chavetz Chaim. Yeah, there I was, and then I was in Chavetz Chaim until I was about 23.
I just want to rate where your scale of modern Orthodoxy is when you say that. So, where did your wife go to school?
So my wife grew up in Teaneck. She went to Mariah in Englewood for elementary school, and then to
Frisch?
Maya Note.
Maya
No.
Note.
So she
Okay.
trended a little bit more right wing. I shouldn't say
Okay.
a little bit more right wing.
Okay.
She went to Maya
That's
Note.
a fair, because you know the old Elon Gold thing. The person that's just slightly more than you is a zealot, and the person who's slightly less is a god. So
Yeah.
just trying to get my bearings here.
Did you see the Dovie Newberger podcast?
I
Since
thought
you
you guys
mentioned,
were incredible. You guys were
oh, great.
unbelievable. It was really, really just. I was laughing out loud. I really was.
Are you a comedy guy? Are you a big comedy guy?
Love comedy.
Okay, cool. All right, so back to Bell Harbor. So you're playing roller hockey over there, and then in the Yeshiva League, they don't have roller hockey; they have floor hockey, right?
Floor hockey. Yep.
So you played
So
for the Rambam team.
I did, and I was on the basketball team also. And in 12th grade, they made us pick one, so I picked hockey because I would really just, frankly, just get more playing time, and I was better at it. And played softball, and
You probably weren't thick enough for the basketball team, or I don't know if it's Jewish basketball.
the basketball team was excellent when I was there. I was there when Dov Wiener was there and Avram Butel. It was a really, really good team. Ruben Gober, very nice team.
So you weren't on the Rambam softball team? Did they
I
have one
was,
then?
yes. It was actually the first championship the school won when I was in 12th grade. The first seasonal. They won the Sarachek tournament in basketball that year, but that's just it's tournament. It was a great win. But the first seasonal 1v1 was softball. I was the first graduating class from Rambam in 1996.
Wow. We're obviously close with Shlomo Ross, who I believe was on the Rambam softball team. But I think from what he said, they had fallen on hard times by the time he was there. Avi, is that right? Do I recall correctly? Shlomo said they weren't doing well.
Yeah.
And he was playing against, I don't remember, Benji's. Was he playing against Benji's after team? We had them together on a pod, and
I think so.
I think we're talking about.
I think part of the problem for Rambam was that DRS came about, and they really, they took a lot of the.
You're a powerhouse.
Yeah, they became a real powerhouse. That's so. I feel like Rambam has, they have neighborhood boys, but they also do have West Hempstead and Brooklyn, and a lot of the local boys, I think, will go to DRS now.
Although DRS just lost, I was following because Jonathan Bayaz, where he's one of our employees, gives some clinics. Some of the boys, a former professional basketball player in Israel, so he works for us. He gives clinics. He's the assistant coach on the varsity DRS team.
Oh, the Memphis tournaments.
So I see him posting on his Instagram how they won the quarterfinals, they won the semifinals, and then it's blank for 5 hours. I'm like, oh, this can't be any good. And then I find out
apparently they had a lead going into the fourth quarter, and my friend Jared Solomon, his son Michael is on the team. He's a starter. He's a very good player.
Yeah. So they lost to North Shore in the championship. I haven't messaged Jonathan yet. He's actually giving a clinic for us tomorrow night. I really messaged him beforehand just to give my condolences on the loss, but I was rooting for him. I felt bad. Anyway,
You ever chuckle when you hear you're going all the way to Memphis and then you're playing the team that's 25 minutes away from North Shore? Right? That's like the epitome of a travel ball for the adults with the kids. They got to go all the way 5 hours.
Not even playing someone who's from Memphis. They're playing someone who lives right next door to you, and you're both traveling to Memphis together.
Just to do it in Memphis. Yes.
Right.
Avi, how are you so plugged into these tournaments? You didn't grow up with this either.
My cousins are the Stearns. They're from Teaneck, and my cousin Ezra Stern was one of the best Yeshiva League players to ever play the game, at least in the last 4 years. The kid was dominant. He still is. He's in Israel now, but they got me very into it. And also, I was always randomly into Sarachek. It's always live streamed on YouTube. Also, Valley Torah has a little bit of a Chavetz Chaim connection. I guess I'm a huge Chavetz Chaim guy, so I guess I felt a little bit of that connection also with Valley Torah being so good with Ryan Terrell, and then even the years after with winning those 2 years in a row. I just got into it, and then my cousins are all YU, so they're very, very, they're all into Yeshiva League, especially my cousin Ezra, who's a phenomenal basketball player and being around the Yeshiva League the last 4 years.
Talking about the multiple sports, what's your guys' take on you're now running a bunch of leagues, and it seems like you're in basketball and baseball, and I'm sure you're growing. What's the idea that you guys see with the kids specializing in one versus playing a bunch? What's your guys' take on?
I don't have a take on it, Avi. What do you think?
What do you mean specializing in what?
People will say, "Oh, you want to be a tremendous softball player or a tremendous hockey player," versus
the only thing I want to add to that conversation is that especially for a yeshiva guy, post high school yeshiva, basketball is so important because none of these yeshivas, especially if you're going to learn yeshiva for a while, none of these yeshivas have baseball fields or softball fields. Basketball is so easy. All you need is a hoop and a ball, and you can play.
I
Like,
say
I have a nephew. I have a nephew on the yeshiva side. He's in like 8th grade, and he's not a bad athlete, but he hates basketball. And I'm just like, you got to play basketball. Like, that's where like all the athletics are going to be for like 7 years of your life. You know, that's the only thing I can add to it.
it's really the circle of life, right? Because when you're a little kid, you're obsessed with baseball. When you get into, upper elementary, high school, like basketball is like the coolest thing. Baseball's for like weirdos and geeks. And then the reality of life is when you're 23, 24 years old, even younger, you get back from base medrash or you start working, the most dominant sport for quote unquote young men and adults by far, it's not even close, is softball. Like, yeah, we have a men's basketball league. It's amazing. JSL is a league. You'll find, but like, there's softball is king, and it's not even close. So it's sort of the circle of life in which you start at softball and you end up at softball, but in between there are stages. What we focus on for our little kids is really a few weeks of each different sport, like multiple sports, and is really focusing on sort of training them on the basic concepts of all the sports, just so they know a little bit of everything. Because when you're a kid in recess, you're running around playing different sports. So that's our focus. And then once you get older into 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 8th grade, it's really all basketball, because at that stage in life, that's really that's what they're going to be playing for the next 5, 6, 7 years. So it's sort of a mix of everything to answer the question, but.
It's fair, but you know what? I will say this, that I think with like the emergence of pickleball, and I play a lot of tennis. I really think that, you see, I guess we're really talking more about team sports versus, I find that like tennis and golf, you could play like at any level for really forever. So
we tried a pickleball league, and there was a lot of interest. The problem was with pickleball, I think similarly to tennis, nobody wanted to commit. People want to play on their own time. Like basketball, softball, like that's a sport. Like it's a team sport where you'll find with the schedule. Pickleball, I feel like it's the type of sport people are obsessed with, but they want to, Saturday night, I have a couple hours, let's go play pickleball. Let's arrange a game. They don't want to, or they'll do a tournament for 5 hours of a shot. But to commit to 7 weeks in a row playing at a specific time, it just wasn't the right fit, I don't think. Maybe we'll do a tournament one time, but the actual
Do you play Yehuda? There's this guy Uri Berger who runs like a whole tennis and pickleball tournament. Are you part
the
of
WIT
that?
tournament, sure.
A what?
The WIT tournament, yeah.
What does WIT mean?
It's the Woodmere Invitational Tennis Tournament, WIT.
Okay, so
I'm not supposed to plug other events. I was being careful there.
No, so it's actually funny. Uri's father, Uri or Uri?
Uri.
He does this as a hobby. His father, his name is Robert Berger. He goes by Rubby, his father. His father is about 75. Happens in my shul and gets to Forest Hills. So he's always telling me, connect with Uri Berger, connect with my son. And I never connected with him.
They did pickleball also this year. I mean, he had
I saw. So I'm on the newsletter. I'm on the newsletter, and I've been reading it. That guy puts a lot of work into it. Like, and then he also has like different Torah in there. I come into to show him like Robbie's like a funny guy. I'm like, Robbie, your son's a lot frummer than you are. He's like giving Musser in his weekly newsletter about pickleball. It's like pretty funny, but it seems like an unbelievable tournament. But he doesn't do it to make any money. He does it for fun. He does it as a hobby fully.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, please.
I'm good.
They also run like throughout the year. There's like a weekday tennis game that's run by Eitan Feldman that they have 7 a.m. on every day at a point set. It's very nice. It's a lot of camaraderie, and it's you sign up for basically for the whole year. And then a lot of those guys are playing in this WIT tournament, but the WIT tournament he has, I think 160 tennis players and 100 pickleball. It was massive. A lot of fun.
It looked like it. Now, I had a question about it just from reading the newsletter. Are there refs at the matches? Because it seems like the players are self-reporting the scores. I couldn't get that part clear.
Yeah, no. So you do not have a referee or an official. I guess you call it a chair umpire. You're playing against your opponent, and then the winner, they have a form that you fill out and you send in the scores, and it's done very well. They do a really nice job, like you guys. I mean, really, like what you've done with softball. I feel like softball's great by itself, but when you have and I'm not really like I'm not into all the doodads and extras, but when you have the marketing, it makes it a lot of fun. Like there's a little bit of extra fire in it when you're.
You love the hack. You love the hack.
Well, yeah, I didn't think I would, but I am enjoying it.
You've warmed up to the hockey.
Well, I
So
think a lot of people are like that. I think a lot of people in the beginning, not that they were against what we were doing, but I don't think they thought they would buy into it or appreciate it as much in a sense. You know, that's sort of the vibe I get from some people. Like there's some people you knew, like I knew from the beginning, a guy like C. Pound would love this stuff because he's very, very, very intense about every aspect, and he won't let a conversation go by that's about him without him chirping in. But there are people like I don't know, like I didn't know Glenn would necessarily be so into it. Like it's from knowing the guy, like, at least from how much I knew him, like he doesn't have the he's not like someone who was super passionate. Well, now I know who he is, but like I'm just saying there are certain people that I feel like in the beginning we didn't necessarily think was so into it. And now we look at it and they love it. They're all over it. They're all over every inch of everything we cover.
Well, I will tell you, I'm playing with Glenn now 20 years. By the way, in this tournament, it's the first time I've ever faced him.
really,
There are a few of those. Ash and
By the way, the last 2 games I played, I basically played against my whole weeknight team. And tonight I'm playing against Jakob Weiss and as a younger, David Bloom. What's his name is playing also outfielder. Very good player. Oh boy. Yitzi Miller.
I just messaged Steve looking for material, and he wrote he said Konig is way too insecure for the questions that I have.
Oh please. Listen, I'm telling you that Glenn doesn't miss an opportunity. Glenn always has a comment. Glenn's got a comment, and Steve. You know what it is with Steve? Steve just is super intense, and I'll tell you, like having played with him for in the Queens League, really, that's the first time we ever played together, and we joined together to kind of split the pitching, and then I play the outfield. It was interesting for us because a lot of the guys have come together. We all played against each other, so now playing together. I mean, the guy's a fantastic teammate. I will tell you, like just great. Into it, and that's the teammate you want, the guy who cares. You're giving of your time. You want everybody else to commit equally. Otherwise, you're on Saturday night doing the need 3, like you're making Minion.
So I made that distinction yesterday. I think
Speaking of which, yeah, I had a guy drop. I have 10 for tonight. Our second pitcher dropped out on me today. He has a date. Can you imagine? He said he has a date. I'm like, this better be the hottest freaking girl in the world, or the
What's wrong with tomorrow night or the next night?
I don't know.
That's what I said. I said you got Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night. And this is
actually what Avi said was she must be very rich.
That's also what I said. That's the second.
Okay, wait. We're jumping ahead though. We have to go chronologically.
Sorry.
You're jumping ahead to the later years, or the middle years. So all right. So you play. Do you play hardball in JCBL growing up in Belle Harbor? I know you're a little on the outskirts.
I was on the White Shoals Little League team. It was basically a team of Darkei Torah kids who we couldn't play till 2:00 because we got out of school on Sunday at 2. So these teams from Oceanside, West Hempstead would come play by us, and they would think they're just going to destroy us. And I got to tell you, we were really, really good.
The yeshiva kids are always the best for some reason. I don't
know. We played baseball all day. I'm not saying it as a joke. Like Darkei has become a different school. When I was there, all we did was first of all, this recess nonsense of like 15 minutes today. I don't know what this is. We had 45 minutes. We had the teams ready to go during class. Everybody was good. We easily got 2 4-inning slots every single day. We had 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes in the afternoon, and that's if teachers all came. When they didn't come, we were playing hours of baseball every single day.
Wait, so what league was this, though, that you were playing?
The regular Little League was, there was like a shul Little League where...
Little League? The Queens Little League, or it was a long... It was hardball. It was
hardball.
It must have been, Avi, it must have been the JCBL, because I don't know of another hardball league.
Yeah, West Hempstead teams that came from the JCBL?
We would have back 30 years. We played against Young Israel Lawrence, Cedarhurst, Beth Shalom, all the local schools.
Did you play against like Young Israel, Kew Garden Hills?
No.
Those? So then it must have been a different hardball. I don't know if that league still exists, because
probably doesn't.
We run a hardball league in Queens. We
just took it over.
We actually have a team that comes from Darkei. This guy, Rabbi Wolf, brings a team. And they schlep in from the 5 towns because my understanding is there's no Sunday hardball league in...
Correct.
Which Rabbi Wolf? Is it Rabbi Eliyahu Wolf?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to camp with him. I was in monk with him.
He's a real sweetheart, right?
Oh, he's so nice. And his kids are very athletic. They're good athletes. That's so nice.
So what position are you playing hardball growing up?
Come on, you're going to ask. I'm offended.
Okay, so you've always been a pitcher.
Yeah, I'll pitch.
You
Yes,
pitch. All right, you go to summer camp during those
I
years?
did. Yes,
Where
I
were
made
you?
my way around. I was 1 year in Camp Na'arim. That was my first year when I was 8. I was in Camp Monk for a couple of years, Stechamed, and then Manavu for the rest.
So you're a little bit of like a pretty boy. I mean, these are kind of, Manavu, Monk. These are like pretty boy camps, no?
I learned what a Tommy Hilfiger shirt was and Jabot pants in those camps.
Exactly,
I had
exactly.
no idea before.
So I was in Heller for a couple of years, and they had these Heller Manavu basketball games that
Oh
were like,
wow! We could do a whole podcast on that, by the way.
yeah, yeah,
On
yeah,
Rabbi
yeah,
Kramer and Rabbi
yeah, right,
Kalish. Oh, those were
yeah,
another
yeah.
tzaddik, Rabbi Kalish. Really, just a tzaddik. But
He just
they
passed.
were
He just passed away,
well.
right?
That was his father, Rabbi Daniel
Right.
Kalish, is in Waterbury, I believe.
Oh, got it. Okay,
They
got it.
were he and Rabbi Kramer were just. I'm not to disrespect any other players, but those two I knew they were just unbelievable. I mean, there's footage of Rabbi Kramer from a game in Manavu where I believe he hit like 10 threes in a game.
I saw that recently.
You seen it? It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. In his pants, he's like in they look like Shabbos pants.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty funny. It's also amazing how grainy the footage is. Like, it's like wild that's what. It's hard to imagine that's what people used to film and then watch on. So, you play on any of the camp teams at any of these camps?
I played on the staff softball team, staff hockey team, and for 1 year on the staff basketball team.
Pitcher at softball.
Yeah,
Wait, so you were on the staff basketball team in Manavu?
for 1 year. Yeah.
Wow, that seems
Yeah.
like that sells itself. I mean, at least when I was at Heller, Manavu and Heller were sort of the powerhouses
Oh,
in the area.
those were like bloodbaths. Those games, people like I
Yeah.
remember like people like chasing the buses out of camp, and it was crazy. Those Heller was always an interesting opponent. I will say.
Manavu and Heller.
Say more. Wait. Say more. I want an outsider's perspective. Say more.
Again, I was mostly a camper there. I only really got into. I came there when I was 13, and I didn't know like what this meant, the Heller and Manavu rivalry. But it was very, very intense. I remember a couple of years where, if I remember correctly, again, I could be conjuring it up in my head more than it was, but I don't want to say like certainly pushing and shoving from like the players and the fans and all. It's very intense. Like they really left it all out there. They would have to have, it was a big deal? I'll tell you, I remember it was a big deal. Everywhere else we went, like counselors would referee these games. When Manavu played Heller, they brought in like independent referees, and it would be like a big deal. They came with the striped shirts. It was very official. So
Yeah, I remember that also when I like walked into that gym and like saw professional refs. I was like, wow, this is like a higher level, which is like so funny in retrospect.
Isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't get why didn't all the intercamp games have professional refs? I don't get it.
You're talking about Manavu, and we'll leave it there. So let's just say, the old line went. They would come on a Friday and say, how many innings are we playing for softball? And the response was always, well, what's the score? So even though I went to Manavu, I know there's a lot of that.
Okay, got it. Okay, so how come you got kicked off the Manavu basketball team? You were in you.
I was only a counselor there for 1 year. I didn't make it really the first couple of years as a junior staff member. They had their guys, and it was a very close-knit group. But the reason I got on was because one of the players missed a game, and I filled in. They needed somebody for one game, and I did pretty well, and I stayed on the team.
So maybe you could join an HSL basketball team. Glenn plays basketball. Steve said he's been retired, but maybe you guys can get back together. And we have
the band could bring them back together for tier 2.
Tier 2, yeah.
I'll tell you, I watched some of your highlights.
Yehuda, we don't have an over 60 division yet, but maybe you can.
I got to remind David that I'm not these guys' age. I'll tell you something. I do play, and I think you'd be somewhat surprised. My concern with basketball, and I played fairly regularly up until about a year ago. Anything that you got to leave your feet on as you get a little older, it's a little bit concerning. So, yeah.
Well,
a friend of mine who's a radiologist, he just said he called them the weekend warrior injuries,
Yep.
like from basketball. He said like there's just so many weekend warrior Achilles. I think the Achilles. What did Derek tear, Avi? His Achilles?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told my friend who's a radiologist.
And that's a year. And
He
that's
said
a
it's
year.
such
You're
a
welcome.
he said it's such a common weekend warrior basketball Achilles. All right, so you have this pretty fleshed out amateur career. Avi's pointed out that the big leagues. It's interesting. The big leagues are really these softball leagues. So first of all, that softball is like the dominant thing that people play post high school. But also, you can have
Not
a
only
kid
play
who's
but talk about the intensity behind softball. Like looking forget about us and Deal and Lakewood and the YMSL. These leagues that are around. It's like a family. It's intense. It's like super intense. It's way above just softball. It's basketball leagues are great. They're fun, but the intensity is nowhere
right.
close
If
to the
you
intensity.
also, Avi, if you think about it, in our area before we started the HSL basketball league, the only firm league was JSL, right? In the five towns in
Swim league was
Queens.
JSL, correct? Yes.
That's it, and they have about eight,
And the
nine
league,
teams.
No,
and the
you
league.
had the Queens Basketball League charity. CTS was going on for a while. I played in a bunch of games.
Ariel Cohen, the basketball league also in West Hempstead for a little while.
CTS was a nice league. It was in Queens, very nice league. And then the JSL was out here. I played.
But to
in
Avi,
Queens.
you played JSL. But to Avi's point,
Yeah.
the JSL has this season they have 9 teams. So you're talking about what, another 60 people, 60, 70 people involved in that. Whereas the volume with softball is just so much higher.
I think the
It would
bigger
seem.
problem with basketball is you really need age divisions. It really makes a difference. I subbed in with the great Shelby Rosenberg's team 2 seasons ago.
How are you Zoiche? How are you Zoiche to sub?
Listen, I did okay. I'm friends with Chaim Rubin, who's on his team. Was it Chaim? No, I'm sorry. Jason Steinmetz was on the team. So I subbed in, and there's just obviously he's a different level player, but I'm saying all around, it's just I've seen your highlights up there. Again, you're feeding the contact. It's great, and I look at
Where do you see them on Avi's status? Where do you see them on Avi's status?
Avi taught me how to use the status.
I heard Avi gave you a private tutoring session. A tutorial. Yeah.
I was literally sitting on a plane trying to figure it out, what he was talking about. I had 2.5 hours ahead of me, and I said I got to be able to participate in this conversation. So that was helpful. But no, I think that's the issue with basketball. By the way, I can definitely play, and I don't know I don't know when you show the highlights if it's tier 1 or tier 2, but there's no question.
Tier 2 doesn't have so many highlights. Although coming this week, you're going to see me scoring another bucket. Did you get one of those on the highlights, Avi? I got 2 back.
Double got 2 back. You can tell there's a very big difference. A very big difference in tier 1, tier 2. The good thing about tier 2 is thank God every single game for the most part, other than like let's say it's been a total of 20 tier 2 games so far. Every single game beside 2 or 3 have been decided by 5 or less points, which is exactly what we wanted when we created a tier 2. Even people given, even though it's less intense, but the competition is great. All 5 teams are very even, and we already have 1 committed team for the winter for tier 2, and possibly even a second. So it definitely seems like things are growing on the tier 2 side.
But before we get back into Yehuda, just one thing also about basketball, which we have found to be so interesting. In softball, guys are terrified of joining the tier A. I know, Yehuda, I know you don't like the whole tier A, tier B thing. In basketball, it's the opposite. I guess it's such an alpha sport or something. I don't know. We can't get guys to sign up for tier B. Like you have these guys who would rather go into tier A, go 2-6, and lose a couple games by 50 points than say I'm a tier B team. I think hopefully we'll change that culture next season, but we'll see.
Do you bring your own team or is it drafted?
Bring your own team.
So I got to tell you, that's a problem. I see it a lot. By the way, you've opened my eyes to it with this draft. It's especially at the higher level when you're bringing your own team. It's such a barrier of entry to everybody else. See, at least with basketball, it's only teams of 5 or 6 or 7, and so people are, there's enough good ball players to go around, especially young. As you get older and fewer people play softball, it's impossible to bring a team to the A League and think you're going to compete. And again, David, I'm saying that's the nature of the Monday Night League. It's almost impossible.
That's
you got to find at least 6. This is what you have to be able to do. You got to be able to bring a team that's young enough, that is hungry enough, that is willing to take their lumps a little, add a player here, add a player there. By the way, this is exactly what Avi did with his team. And that's what Daniel Ash did with his team. They got creamed in the beginning, but they wanted to show the older guys that, hey, we're just as good. But people usually kind of just fall off and say, oh, it's not for me. They're getting beat up.
Yeah.
So I think it's very, very tough to bring a team to softball.
Devin,
So
what do
anyway,
you call it? You don't call it an A team. You call it an all-star team, right? You say it's all-star team. It's not an A team.
yeah, that's a somewhat separate conversation. Yeah, I have this other theory that there's something about the nature of how long guys have been around that these A League teams are really more like super teams, not like A League teams. I don't know. I'm not totally sure, but it's like when you've been playing like you guys have for a long time, um, you're always adding the best you can find at a specific position, and the result after 7 to 10 years is you have a super team. You don't have an A team, you know. Um, but anyway, so your amateur career is high school and camp and elementary school, but then the professional career is once you do the men's softball, and it's no joke because it's so intense. People take it so seriously. You see this chat we have. People could talk about a single play for 6 hours. You know, slide. How much fun was this Steve Pollen yelling slide for you?
Wow. But
That
you
was
know
an
what?
awful.
I thought the way you guys built that up, I thought it was going to be much worse. I don't know. Like that was like just another Tuesday for him. You know.
All right, so after Israel, you go to Mivaseret, you come back. Um, where do you land?
So I was in Yeshiva University, and I had played against a couple of guys in Henk when we were in high school. And one of them said to me, I remember where we were. I was like right near the cafeteria in the building with the gym. And they said, hey, you want to play? We have a softball team we're on. And it was Eric Taub, and I joined their team out in Plainview. Played there for a couple of years. Then
Do you know what
but
league this was? Do you know what
what?
league this was? What
Sure,
league
that
was
was
this?
the original blue and white league.
The
Sunday
blue
softball.
and white. Okay, okay.
But you know what's crazy? Those were like you think this is intense, and like even tonight, like the guys on my chat were asking when the game starts, and they're saying 7:50, and in my head I'm like, we need to get this 7:30 at a minimum, maybe even
I
earlier.
would love to
What, Avi?
get there. You mean? Oh,
Yeah,
got
get
it.
there. And what's crazy is that the blue and white league, the home team took batting practice an hour before the games, and the road team got it 30 minutes before the games. That's how it was. So like 7 a.m. was batting practice for an 8 o'clock game. That's super intense to me.
David, you wonder where the Bombers, get themselves to game 8 o'clock games at 7:15, 7:20 every Sunday. This is their nature. This is where it comes from.
This is where it is. So I was on those teams for a couple of years in Plainview. Then I switched when I got married in 2000, and my wife's friends was married to a guy named Ethan Leifer, Queens guy, and he had a team.
Singer? Was he like a singer or
Yes,
something?
yes.
Oh, it's funny. I remember him being a Queens guy.
Excellent third baseman. We played together for years, but you know what's interesting? This is what I mean about the commitment to really staying at it. He brought a team into the league of young guys. They thought they were going to be great. They had always played like pickup in Queens on Friday and all those parks that you guys have there in Queens.
Shitty parks, yeah.
No, I didn't say that. They're just, they're all these like funny names for them, And
One second. Before you go on, like when me and Avi do the scheduling, like once in a while it falls out that it will like solve a huge problem if like the Bombers play at one of the Queens fields, and Avi's like, no, we can't put the Bombers at Alley Pond Park. I don't want anybody to hear this because they're gonna be like, oh, you do favor the Bombers. It's not that we favor the Bombers. It's that the river of shit we're gonna have to deal with if you get placed on a field with a bunch of potholes on it. Avi's like doing gymnastics to make sure the Bombers don't wind up at.
There's a field out there like by one of the schools with a big running track around it somewhere in Queens. It was a nice field. We played a bunch.
I don't know that one. I actually don't know that one. Yeah, I don't know that.
Well, clearly it's one of the nicer ones. So it looks like you weren't trying to get it, right? You were looking how many games could we squeeze into Peck, right? There's no way Avi would ever wanted to have to pitch at Peck.
No, definitely not Peck 3 and Peck 4. Peck 5 maybe a little bit more, but yeah, it's still not so.
They started their first year in the league. It's a great story, actually. Their first game ever, they were playing against the team, and it was a Saturday night. It was raining. They were determined to play their game. This is the year before I joined them, but it's like a legendary story. They all went to Home Depot. They bought bags of sand. They got the field ready to play. It was like their first game ever in the league, and like they were going to show the league how good they were. They got mercy twice. It was a doubleheader league. I think they went 2-18 that year. But you know what? The next year we went 9-11. Then
Wait, slow down a second. The Blue and White League had a 20-game season.
20-game season. Yeah,
Sach always tells us about that, Dave. That's what
He always tells me
Unbelievable.
about Marine Park. He doesn't tell me about Blue and White.
Yeah, that was also
Wait.
the Meadowbrook League in Marine Park was a great league also. Excellent.
Wait. 20 games. It was Sundays only, and it would stretch from April to September.
So they played the flaw in the schedule is what you guys really fixed this, the last few years.
Well, they do the champion. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, you got it. They do it after the summer, which is terrible. It's like you had all this momentum. You played 9 or 10 weeks straight from April till the middle to end of June, and then they stopped for the summer.
But still, they were doing a doubleheader every week, more or less.
Every week. Every week was a doubleheader, and there
7
were
innings or 9, 7 or 9.
7-inning games, and there were my first year in the league. There were like 11 or 12 teams in the league. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Who was the commissioner?
Boy, it was. I thought it was Khan from West Hempstead. Yeah,
The one who runs the Little League? The one who runs the
from his father.
From his father. Richie? Is that Richie?
I'm pretty sure he was the commissioner.
Richie Khan is a lot. Isn't he the one who runs the Hewlett Woodmere Little?
No. Richie Khan is somebody who is not. He runs the Little League.
Yeah.
This was a gentleman from West Hempstead.
Different person.
So from his father, and right. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So then, for some reason, that league folded. The Blue and White.
Yeah, he lost a few teams here and there.
It was one tier, but it was one tier.
One tier. Everybody played each other. It was really.
And were there 11, 12 teams that were actually competitive, or it was like really 3 or 4 teams competing for the championship every year?
No, I mean, again, by memory, I could take you through very quickly. You had the Bombers, who were obviously very good. They were ready when I came in the league. They were ready in their mid to upper 20s, so they were maybe even 30s, but they were really good.
Mayor Silber was Mayor Silber on that team.
Mayor Silber was on the team, yeah. But the 2 pitchers on their team were Avram Schreiber and David Mandel, really, originally.
Oh, yeah. Steve told us about those guys.
So there were 2 Woodmere teams. One was you had such a great question from Matt Rosenberg. When you started asking him about his father actually played originally on one of the Woodmere softball teams. He was I remember him being an outfielder, Maishi Rosenberg. So you had 2 Woodmere teams. You had a team from Oceanside, Plainview. What are they? The Lobos had a team. They were called Lawrence. There were 2 teams from West Hempstead, and then the last couple. And there were always a couple of extraneous teams that here and there. The late Rabbi Beitler had a team. He took like a bunch of good players from Hafter and made it a young team. So there was a lot of teams. It was really nice. By the way, speaking of Matt Rosenberg,
do you want to do that now?
You had such a layup to ask him when I saw your podcast with him. It was great. You had such a layup. I mean, you totally could have asked him, like when he started giving you the sports, bad, like this, that, soccer. I mean, when you hit soccer, I really feel like your follow-up should have been asking him about how are you at tetherball, badminton, and, I don't know, water polo. Come on.
Should we calculate the distance of his home run now? Should we do that?
You could. I mean, I told you what I thought it was, right?
You told me where the fence was. So
right.
During a podcast, for those watching now, let me pull up the field. For those watching, we asked Mr. Rosenberg what was the furthest home run he ever hit. And he said he remembered it, and he said Konig would remember it, and to ask him. Here, so I'm going to share my screen here. Let's do this live. It will be fun. So,
by the way, I'm going to tell you this right now. I've seen him hit better balls. He's just the first one he ever hit off me was an absolute missile.
Okay,
I give it up to him. Yeah, I see him.
You guys see this? All right, so I'm clicking. So clicking by home plate, he hit it over the right field wall, right?
It's far. I actually drove past this last week. It's far. It's very far. I don't think I've ever seen a ball go out of there other than this one.
Okay, so even moved. Okay, so to the wall, to the right field wall. Let's get this. Oh no,
about 270,
282. I might be a little over the wall there.
No, that sounds about right. You're probably not even starting it far back enough. That sounds right.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? And then he said he hit it onto the porch. Did he say across the street? Did he say that?
He hit it. He hit it really far.
Over the first house. He said over the first house. He said it landed.
He said over the first house. I mean, we might be talking about a 320-foot blast.
Yeah. By the way, which is why it would be very memorable for him because that's really far.
That's a home run at Yankee Stadium.
Exactly, it's a home run down. It's a home run at Yankee Stadium. Exactly.
Man, we're having too much fun. We have other stuff to get to. Yeah, go ahead, Avi.
I guess now Solias and JoJo Levy know that Matt Rosenberg's not just a guy who could poke it over the short porch in Northwood Mir 1. I guess he's a little bit stronger.
Avi, I got to tell you about that. Actually, I'm a pitcher, so take it from where it's coming. I take major issue with them saying that. It is not a short shot. Barely anything goes out in a season. And I think I told this to somebody. I said, again, it's not to get on the Matt fan club, but in a league where, in a weeknight league where, I don't know, you play a whole season and what, 3 to 4 balls, 5 go out in a season?
Maybe.
And then he'll hit like 8 by himself. It's like the Babe Ruth when, the whole team hit 27 home runs and he hit 60. It's like, it's staggering.
I think just that Matt's swing is so simple and so easy. It looks like, okay, if you're a lefty with power, you should be able to hit it over. Matt's swinging so slowly and it goes over. People don't understand the strength that he has. It's pretty incredible.
And it's fall. I got to tell you, I do think, if the fence was 10 feet further back, maybe, but it's a bomb to get it out there.
It's 254 down the line and right. It's 265 to right center. It's not. Field 2 is 267 down the line and right.
All right, we have about 15 minutes left. We have a lot to get to. We have to get to the tournament. We have to get to Glenn's 15 questions for Konig, and we have to get to the tournament and maybe predictions. So I got to
go for it.
I got to prioritize here. So let's do a few minutes for Glenn's question. We'll get more of a robust history next time we have you on. We'll get past the blue and white and your whole history there. All right, let's get to some of Glenn's questions. Some of these questions are actually very respectful.
Are you sure they're
I was expecting... These are actually all really nice questions. Actually, the trolling of you was where he said Konig has been begging to be interviewed for 2 years. I wrote to him, I wrote, we're having Konig on Tuesday. He wrote he's been begging to be interviewed for 2 years. Konig knows every stat line from every game he's ever pitched. So he sounded a little like Edelman. Okay, but then his questions are actually really nice. Who taught you the riser?
I thrown by Avram Schreiber, and I played with it, toyed with it. It took a lot of work.
I actually wanted to ask about that. It's not just a riser. It's like a dead floater. Like it rises and then it freezes. I was going to ask you about it. It's a crazy, crazy pitch. Like a very incredible pitch. Like you don't see it anywhere. A lot of people have risers. Risers is a common thing in softball. Yehuda's pitch sort of like rises and then freezes. Like it's very hard to explain.
I know what you mean, and when it's thrown, when I throw it at my best, that's what it looks like. Like it comes a little bit of a jump, and then kind of just takes off.
It stays in the air. Yeah, it's like
So I don't know. You know what? I know how I grip it, but more than that, it's some days are better than others. Last week was particularly good, but. The better it feels, the more I try to use it because I think it's a tough pitch to square up, which is what you try to do.
Is Avram Schreiber still with us?
Yes, I believe so.
How old would you place him at?
I think similar age, probably around Pollen's age, similar. I think maybe a few years older.
So he's okay. Okay, so he's not
55 to 60, maybe that range. I think.
Mayor Silber is 60.
Maybe 55.
Mayor Silber is actually my wife's uncle.
Avi David froze, I think.
Yeah, David, you're muted.
Oh, I'm muted.
I don't know why. I don't know what just happened. Maybe you connected to an AirPod or Bluetooth or something.
I can hear you. You can't hear me?
Avi, by the way, him comparing me to you is not the word. I've heard of much worse. I'm very happy to.
Did he compare me to you? I don't think that.
He said that like Avi, every stat.
Oh no! I think he meant like
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No, he meant like Avi. They were both stat geeks. I remember.
That's
that they remember every game. Yeah. Oh, you didn't like that? You didn't like that?
I don't mind it. I'll tell you, Lahefech. I remember the bad. I don't remember most of the. I remember every guy that hit a home run off me. I can tell you when, where, what I threw. But the good, not so much. I think you learn more from the things that don't go.
Okay, well that's interesting because he says, Glenn, he's funny even when he's being nice. What was Konig's most dominant game? Parentheses. Watch the level of detail that he will give you.
I think the best week I had, I think, was when we played years back in blue and white, a semifinal game. I hit well, I pitched well, we won. We ended up winning the championship. I think it was somewhere between 07 and 11. That's because we had a good run then. You guys are barely born. It's 2007 for the young guys.
2000. I keep looking at my phone because
go for it. Don't worry.
I've been driving my wife crazy with all this late softball and basketball, so I got a babysitter for tonight and tomorrow night, and the babysitter canceled today. So I have this app called Sitter City, and it's a great app. I know your kids aren't young anymore. You could find sitters. It's like Uber for babysitters.
Oh
So
wow.
my wife's gonna be home, but like we have two young kids, and you know how it
Hard
is.
trusting that now.
But yeah, so I'm finding a new Uber babysitter, so to speak. Wait, so you said your most dominant year was 2007?
I think our best years were like, a specific game. It was the semifinals that year, but we had a great team in Great Neck. I played with Glenn for a bunch of years in Great Neck. We had just a really good team. We were always
What was the name of the team? Was it like Young Israel Great Neck, or it was just Great Neck guys?
Great Neck Fugitives. It was Glenn's team. Glenn got the
Oh,
field for
really?
us. It was We played in Great Neck Estates. It was great.
And this was in the Blue and White League.
Blue and White League, yes.
Blue and White League. Okay.
I'm not going to give
Love
him
it.
the level of detail because I'm not going to give him the satisfaction.
Which Sunday morning league dynasty was the strongest?
From us, definitely the Blue and White. We were in the finals. I think like 6 out of 7 or 6 out of 8 years, and we won.
This
it
is
four
Great Neck
times.
Fusion. This is
Yeah,
Fugitives.
Great Neck Fugitives.
More than the Bombers.
I'm going to tread carefully here because they'll come back going nuts with how many they were in. But the years we were there, they were very good. But we were those years we were a little bit better. We had a very, very good team.
So 1 second. Yeah, go ahead.
We had between Ethan Leifer, Glenn Zuckerman, Glenn's brother TJ, this guy Maury Amuri, and Joel Wurtzel. You guys were struggling to get his name last time on the podcast.
Yeah.
Just had Adam Cohen. We had a really Bobby Wasserman was on. We just had a really good team.
So the Blue and White folds, and then Ariel Cohen starts the Hillcrest Softball League. Do you know the history here?
No, Hillcrest Softball League was going on all along. It was kind of always viewed like as a lesser league. I mean that no disrespect.
No, I get it.
And it was they were up and coming, the Hillcrest League, and they had more teams. And I remember when I got a phone call like, hey, you want to play? They're playing Sunday in Hillcrest. I was like, sure, why not? Because Blue and White had folded. So
then do you know what year this is about?
It's got to be back 6 or 7 years.
Okay, and now the Great Neck Fugitives join as their own team, or you join the Bombers right away?
No, Great Neck did not join. A lot of those guys kind of went their own way.
So Pollen was really the one. Was Pollen the one who made the jump from Blue and White to Hillcrest? He's such a junkie. If Blue and White folds, he immediately finds a new league to be part of. Is that basically
him and Seth Fishman? If Seth Fishman was the captain of the team, it was his team really, and he put it all together.
Okay,
and he brought his guys, David Avish and Steve Pollen himself, and a couple of others, and then got a few other guys like Glenn and me put it together from the various teams.
So basically, for some time there was an A league and a B league that was separate. There was an No, I know you hate it. It's funny. Me and Avi, we actually like to be very honest and open about it. We feel like it's like healthier or just like easier, like, to deal with instead of sugarcoating it, Like I'll give you an example that, when I was in Chavetzheim High School, they had the olive shear and the beige shear. And that's what they called it.
And the Gimel.
Oh, wow.
We didn't have a Gimel when I was there. So I remember I was in the olive shear for 9th grade. I was in the beige shear for 10th grade. But like, I remember the 9th grade beige Rebbe, it was so funny. He would say it's olive and olive plus. But the whole thing was so, for Gemara is different than softball. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I just see so many players in the tournament that are good players, and yes, there's a distinction at the ends. I really think that some of the pitchers in the league, I see like Nachum Mintz and again I'm going to blank Mikey Weiss and a couple of others. They're very good.
Yeah.
They're really good. Like I don't see the difference. Look, you know what? This tournament teaches you that I think that it's a construction of a team. So maybe your pitcher isn't quote unquote dominant, but he gets the ball over the plate, doesn't walk people, and gets people out because he has a good defense around him. Why is that a bad way to win? That's a great way.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, one of the things we're hoping out of this is that there will be more cross-fertilization between the leagues, for lack of a better word. I was going to say interpenetration, but that also sounded weird.
Oh, God. You're lucky you're not on YouTube. Glenn would be all over
that. Okay, here's one of the mean questions from...
Go for it. Don't sugarcoat it.
As a pitcher, does Konig hate when the right fielder takes a bad route and makes a terrible error? Konig did this in a big Bombers game. And then ask if it's an error if his glove never touches the ball. Did you follow all that?
I followed all that. I'll tell you, I take it as a massive compliment. So I do. You know what it teaches me? That in the 5 or 6 years I played outfield with them, they have one play that was a base hit that spun past me. Like, you know when that ball spins, Avi, from a righty, it spins
Yeah,
away?
yeah,
And it was against your team, Avi, and it was one extra base. The
yeah.
guy went from first to second. It might even have been Avi hitting the ball.
Was it this season?
It was probably me because I don't
You
hit
hit the
many
ball the other
doubles.
way a lot.
I don't have many doubles. I hit the ball the other way a lot. I remember there was one time where I got the second on a ball that went by the right fielder. I cannot remember if it was Konig or not.
It was a playoff game. It was right down the line. It was a single.
Yeah, it's like classic bloop shot over first.
Listen, I'm flattered. So if that's the best that Glenn has, then I'm in good shape.
Here's a good one. Other than you, Yehuda Konig, who's the best pitcher that you've ever seen?
You talking like one game or like over like total package?
Let's
Probably
do both.
both.
So I'll tell you, the last game that Yossi Kaufman just pitched against us in the night league in the tournament, as well as the game he pitched in the playoffs this year against the Lobos, is two of the best games I've seen pitch. He was so dominant against our team in this tournament. This last game that we lost 1-0. It seemed like no matter what. First of all, I don't know that he went to 3 balls on any batter, and with Yossi, I find that if you get ahead, he often will come in a little softer, and I think he threw one pitch not hard the whole game.
Well,
So
it's
I
interesting
think-
it's interesting you say that because we interviewed him after he lost to the Bombers in the spring, and
he did not pitch
said
well.
he said one of his regrets also was giving up on his hard stuff at some point.
He and I have played together now for a few years in the night league, and I go after him on this. I'm like, you got to stay with your hard stuff because your soft stuff he's not fooling anyone with it. He's really not.
There's no spin to it, really. It's
Right.
really
It's just he's
wild.
laying it in there. And by the way, that's a great thing that he can do that because he can throw a strike whenever he wants. Doesn't walk anyone, similar to Avi Edelman here. But
Yeah.
I mean, Yossi has been where Yossi is pitching right now is as good as anybody I've seen pitch. Modified. There was a guy Rabish who was absolutely dominant, but he threw slingshot, and so if he was the most dominant I've ever played against. But in the modified softball Jewish world that we're playing now, Yossi is pitching as well as anybody I've seen.
All right, let's do a couple minutes on the tourney, and then I gotta get out of here and go home. I gotta go vote. Then I gotta get over to North Woodmere. I got a lot ahead of me. So we gotta wrap up here. I'm in Manhattan, so I gotta get back to Queens and then vote, and then North Woodmere Park. Let's do tournament. First of all, let's start with how's your experience been so far?
Very enjoyable. Surprisingly, I'm really, and I don't mean this negatively, but I'm really enjoying it. I feel like I like the playing with new players. I like the fact that it's not the exact same people. And by the way, I love my team, but I feel like we play the same exact teams every single week in the other leagues. I like the variety. I like seeing different people all mixing it up and all the interplay. I think it's great. You guys, credit to you. You really have done a masterful job, and all the extras with it that come along. The fact that the
credit. I want to give credit to a number of people. First of all, big credit to Steve and Yossi for encouraging this to begin with, and also being like the first people to sign up. They're leaders in the community, and they have that panache, whatever you want to call it, and people follow. So big akar satov to them, and then also to Adam Bromberg and Avi Nenner, who really came up with the format and the auction draft, and the way we're doing all of this. But we had definitely a lot of akar satov to the 4 of them, and just want to mention that it's important.
No, listen, it's great. It's really been fantastic. It's been fun. And
can you remind me the name of your team? I just want to look at your roster first.
We are Extreme Vent Cleaning.
Yeah, Ellie Melch Sperling's Extreme Vent Cleaning.
All right, so you got the Sabo boys, Aaron Feldberg, Aaron Erlach, who you know from the night leagues for sure. I think you recognize him.
Yeah.
No, I did not before, but he's excellent. Really excellent.
Joe Fine, Kirshner, Moshe Abramson's on your team.
Kevin Manella, Hillel Rokach. They got a very, very solid team.
Listen, Avi thought we were very good from the get-go. Right now, we're disappointing him. So
you are disappointing me right now.
What's Jake Epstein been doing?
I'm going to tell you, David, we've had so many come and go in terms of missing people. I don't even, like last game, I had to ask a couple of guys, like, are you here regularly? Are you like, I'm very bad with that. I hate to say.
Wait, you don't remember the name? So Jake Epstein, I'm going to give him a shout out because after the last podcast, he wrote something like, I have 10 hits in the tournament.
He's batting. Jake Epstein is batting .438.
Nice.
I know who he is. I'm saying, but I don't know a lot of the other guys. He's very solid.
Very solid. Okay, Jake, we're giving you love, baby. We're showing you the love.
I feel like just with the format, like, Hilo Rokoch played, I think, one game for us, one or two. So it's tough. It's tough to know what we really have.
Rokoch only played 1 or 2 games. Why?
Yeah, he missed games. I think he missed 3 games.
After that Twiller remodeling thing, he's probably getting hounded by Shadchanim.
I hope so. Listen, he's a terrific player.
Was he the highest dollar value position player? How much did Matt go for?
Well, Matt went for 83.
Okay.
Oh, shoot, I knew that so quickly.
You're locked in, Yehuda. You're locked in. All right. So, what's your record so far? What's your record, Extreme Bank?
We're 2-3.
2-3, and
they're
what's
3 seed? They're going up against Prime Cuts, who are
good team, very good.
The 2 seed.
Oh, so you're out in Wantagh tonight.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Give me a little bit of credit. I came back very positive on you guys. No complaints. Come on, nothing. Not a single complaint.
Thank you, Yehuda.
I'll complain after we get there.
You know what? I'm going to start checking the traffic to Wantagh now to let Such. Let's know.
I do think, by the way, you do the best you can, and these things happen, and it's fine. It's one night. We'll know.
I wonder if next year. I think part of the geschmack of this is that everybody's playing tonight and tomorrow in like a knockout style, but the 3 fields is an issue. But I think there's a geschmack though in the back-to-back nights of the finals, but you need a 3rd field if we're going to do it. So I don't know if there's a way around it. And Bay Park, I guess you heard, has this thing that they shut the lights at 10:30 or 10:15 now.
But why not? Was there any thought to starting at 7:00? I know we talked about it, but
you know what's not so crazy, Avi? By the way,
we couldn't. There's a football.
Yeah, you had football there. There was football.
Game
there's football at Bay Park.
Yeah, I brought that up. I brought up that idea, the football game until 8:15. Yeah.
No, you guys are receptive, and
I have another idea for next year. Something maybe we can do, Avi, is maybe the last 2 nights of the tournament are Sunday night and Monday night. So Sunday night you could have potentially 5-6 o'clock. That's actually interesting. It's a different night of the week. It's usually a weeknight league, but to book out, I know Sundays are family days, so people.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, maybe that's how we could handle it. Maybe that's how we could handle it next
Especially
year.
If it's one Sunday, like a softball year, I'm sure people can make the time to.
Right. Sunday at 5 o'clock, and then you get 3 games in.
You gave everybody the dates, in advance. So
that's why I can't believe my guy's missing tonight for his date. She better be beautiful and rich as hell, and a genius.
I will tell you, I would say for next time, if you're taking things in the suggestion box, I do think the back-to-back nights is very, very tough unless you're going to build teams with multiple pitchers and all. I think back-to-back potential doubleheaders is.
Do you know why Bromberg and Nenner wanted to do it back-to-back nights?
I think because they wanted to maybe block off a set amount of time. Maybe it's easier to block off, these 2 days. Also, rainouts. If there's a Tuesday, Wednesday, and one of those get rained out, it goes to Wednesday, Thursday. I'm not certain. I'm not certain. I happened to be who your team was. I think the only team that only you and Pollen's team and Kaufman's team. I guess the only 3 teams that have really no other pitchers. I don't think most teams have 2, if not 3 pitchers. But that's how it's going to roll. But most people will spend all their money on a Yehuda, Konig, a Kaufman, or a Pollen, or an Ash for that matter. They're not going to have a second pitcher.
All right, let's wrap up with predictions and then go our own ways. We're at an hour and 5 minutes. We could probably go for another hour and 5 minutes, but we got softball tonight, so we got to get moving. Avi, you want to start with the predictions? Prime Cuts versus.
Yeah. I'll give a prediction, and I have to stick with the team that I've been high on from the whole season, Extreme Vent Cleaning. I've also been very low on Prime Cuts. I think Prime Cuts is a very good team. They definitely have proved me wrong to an extent. They had a solid season, and kudos to them. They went 3-2, and even their 2 losses, one was to one of Yossi Kaufman's many Cy Young performances, and one was to Bravo Pizza, and they lost 4-3 on the walk-off. So kudos to them. I do think that Yehuda Konig, is going to handle this lineup, just in my opinion, very, very well. I know he's, for even the players who are more talented, he's extremely familiar with how they hit.
Yitzi Miller, David
Bloom, Miller, Yaakov Weiss. I
think the guy Greg who's supposed to be very good.
Different squad.
Mikey Reinhardt is phenomenal.
Reinhardt and Rave, a very good team.
Rave isn't on that team.
No.
No, Raves on Ceramian. But Reinhardt's a fantastic. Morty Gindolf's a good hitter. But these guys, I think, are guys that Konig will handle fine. I think these are guys that are used to hitting.
Reinhardt can go over the right field wall potentially.
Yes. Well, they're playing in Wanta. I again,
Wanta. All right.
I think between Konig's pitching and Hill being back in the defense, I think it'll be a low scoring game. I think Nachum is an extremely underrated pitcher, especially with the defense behind him and David Bloom. I would say it would be something like 3-1 extreme vent cleaning.
I'm having a very hard time right now not posting a screenshot of the drive right now from Brooklyn to Wonton. It's probably like 2 hours right now. Hold on, and telling Soch to get in his car now. He's gonna kill me for this when he sees this. He might even block me on his phone, Avi.
Don't do it.
By the way, Avi, when you were talking to yourself on the chat today, like with the different personas, I was like, he's literally being schizophrenic. He doesn't. I mean, does anybody see the irony here or the humor? How funny it is.
I saw it. It was good.
We were on the phone together when that happened, and I said, "Look at this! Look what I'm gonna do now."
I love
it. It's currently an hour and 30. So maybe I should post stuff if you leave
now.
I thought you said 2 hours.
No, it's not 2 hours. I said I'm guessing it's 2 hours. I think the peak of it will be close to 2 hours. Like in another 20 minutes, I think it's going to be like an hour and 47 minutes.
What do you mean? It's an hour to get to Wanta at 7:45. It's an hour and 25 minutes.
No, I'm saying something else. I'm pulling up the current traffic conditions.
I'm saying, yeah, but you said the peak of it. The peak of it. This is the worst it's going to get according to Waze.
I think it's going to get worse in a few minutes.
It's an hour 25 to get there by 7:45 p.m.
What is it? Yeah, listen. Yeah, it'll be what it'll be. Let's not. I think like. You show up, you play your game, and that's it. You got to take care of your business.
All right, yeah, you got to take care of business. Okay, Yehuda, prediction for tonight?
I think it's going to be like Avi said, a very tight game. If we play good defense, I think we could win.
Is Rokach coming tonight?
I certainly hope so. I mean, I hope there's no dates. I hope everything is good. I hope he's clear.
Who's your shortstop?
It will be Chaim Pfeiffer.
Michael Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
he was a steal at $5, right?
Also, he also only showed up to I think one game. He was sick or hurt himself or something. Okay. It's been tough. Like in terms.
And where's Yaakov Sabo? And where's Yaakov Sabo playing? Second base.
He played second.
Second?
Yeah.
And what about Eli Sabo?
First base.
No, so probably Yaakov first, Eli second. Yaakov is the older one.
Okay, whichever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For this game,
you have to.
I haven't seen Konig. I gotta. Nachum Mintz is my boy. He's a good friend of mine.
You don't pull any punches. Then you have them. That's it.
Well, I don't actually know if they'll win. I just love Nachum. He's such a great guy. They're such a great family. Konig, you're a good guy too, but you're no Nachum Mintz. I gotta say.
Listen, you'll aspire to be. How about the other games? How do you look at the other games? What do you think?
Yeah, let's look at the other games, Avi. We got
Twillery and Bravo Coaster Pizza, one of the 4 or 5 games. I think Bravo Pizza is going to wake up and be who they should have been all season. That's Steve Pollen. I think they're going to win that one pretty handily.
And then what about the next game? What do you think? What do you think Ceramian actually is when they have to bring their own team?
I think the answer is I think Ceramian.
So there's potentially a rematch there of last week's game, right? That was the game with the slide. That was Ceramian versus Steve's squad, right,
yes.
Avi?
Yes.
Yeah, and
that would be a sexy matchup.
And Yossi made sure to go and ask after. We think he would have been out if he slid.
Big time troll job. Calvin pretends to be a nice guy.
By the way, big question for you guys.
I think Ceramian's in trouble. I think if Kaufman and Konig go into another pitcher's duel, I think Extreme will beat Ceramian because Ceramian only has 3 outfielders. I said it before. Glenn's good, but he's good for Glenn. He's not good for a young, athletic flying around the outfield.
Konig, what was your question about the umpires?
Who's the umpire out in Wonton tonight?
Dom's at Wonton tonight. Because right near his house.
That's what I figured.
Okay. Yeah.
Dom's at Wonton. We got Joe and John at Northwood.
Oh wait, you want to do the other games quickly, Avi? I really got to jump.
Yeah, I'll go through. I want to predict each of them quickly. Holy Schnitzel and MS Motors. I think Daniel Ash will be bothered by the cold and the travel, and he'll be out of it in his own head. I think Holy Schnitzel will win. They also have the deepest outfield and a phenomenal team. I think Slamovitz will throw a good enough game to let his defense back him up. I think they win. I think Wall Street Grill, like I predicted, will pummel crush Trivia. I think they'll beat Gottlieb's team. I then think Gordon Companies will crush, no pun intended, the winner of Crush and Wall Street Grill. And that's what I think will happen. I think you'll have a semifinals of Gordon Companies versus Holy Schnitzel. I think you'll have a semifinals of Extreme Vent Cleaning, being that I predicted them to win. I think they'll beat Twillery, and then they'll beat Ceramian Financial in a shocker, and probably the biggest shocker of the night. And they will play. I think Extreme Vent Cleaning will beat beat Prime Cuts, and Bravo Kosher Pizza will beat Twillery, and then Bravo Kosher Pizza will beat Ceramian Financial. I love Yossi Kalfa, but if he's not throwing a complete Cy Young performance, I do not think Ceramian Financial will win their game tonight. And I think it'll be
It's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a fun night. We have a big
Extreme
night
Vent Cleaning,
tomorrow.
Bravo Kosher Pizza in one division, Gordon Companies, and Holy Schnitzel in the other semifinals. That's my prediction.
All right, it's going to be a fun night tonight. It's going to be a fun night tomorrow night. Anybody watching this who does not make it to the champs, we hope you come out anyway. We have Kuti Roberg with his meats, prime cuts. He's going to have a meat soup, maybe some meat samples. We have Dave Levenger snapping photos, and also Konig. I don't know if you know this guy, Dave Levenger. He's like, I spoke to him on the phone when we hired him for tomorrow night. I said to him, he mentioned this price. He said, "I'm sorry, it's so expensive." I said, he's like, I said, "You're the best there is." And I said, "Frankly, I don't even know anybody who does anything like you." And he said, "I appreciate your saying that." He said, "I don't know either. If you have a chance, go on Instagram."
He does these short video clips. It's phenomenal. He did it for our football tournament.
I'm going to send you one, Konig.
What's his name?
Dave Levenger.
You know the Levenger? Some of them are in our leagues.
Shlomo Levenger, he's a magician, and look up the Levengers on Instagram.
I'm going to send you some stuff, Konig. That's really.
We also may have a little mini giveaway we're working on potentially with sort of over-unders on different lines of players. So that may.
And we're going to have the Thank You Hashem and Twillery CEO throwing out the first pitch.
That's right. Elimelech Bloomstein will be in attendance, throwing out the first pitch, and hopefully handing out the first ever Twillery tournament. Perpetual trophy.
Avi, do you think that's a good idea in terms of like the player lines and all, knowing what just happened with the NBA?
So what we're going to do actually is we're going to have for all 4 rosters in the semifinals, we're going to have lines, and then the 2 teams that make the championship, everyone has to fill out for all the teams, and it won't be relevant for the semifinals. It'll only be relevant for the championship, and the 2 teams that make the championship, though, it'll apply to the championship game. If we do it, that's what we're going to do.
You guys are great.
All right.
Really spice things up. I love it.
All right. It's been a pleasure, Yehuda.
Thanks, guys. Really, thanks. A lot of fun. We could have done another hour, no problem.
We'll do another hour soon. Amir Hashem.
You guys are great.